Well, Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks and insert extraneous material into the House record H.R. 2811.
Without objection.
I don't think the chamber's in.
The House will be in order. Gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 2811, the Limit, Save, and Grow Act. Over the last 2 years, President Biden has financed his radical agenda and vast expansion of the federal government with an unprecedented $10 trillion in spending, $6 trillion of which has been added to our national debt, the highest level of deficit spending in the history of America. This unbridled spending spree has resulted in sustained record inflation, soaring interest rates, an economy in a recessionary tailspin, and a nation on the brink of a catastrophic debt crisis. Mr. Speaker, the fiscal state of the nation is bleak, our national debt is unsustainable, and the outlook grows more uncertain every day. For 100 years, the debt ceiling has served as a check on our accumulating debt and its impact on the financial health of our nation. No responsible leader can look at the rapid deterioration of our balance sheet and the unsustainability of our deficit spending and stand idly by defending status quo. Friends, this isn't a Republican problem. It's not a Democrat problem. It's America's problem. And it's a mathematic reality that requires real leadership from both sides of the aisle and before it's too late. House Republicans' debt ceiling proposal is an important first step to getting our fiscal house in order and a good faith effort to bring the president to the negotiating table. Our plan will reduce deficit spending, save taxpayers $4.8 trillion, and begin extinguishing the flames of our current cost of living crisis. First, we limit federal spending by reining in and right-sizing the federal bureaucracy. Our bill will reduce FY24 discretionary spending levels by 9%, $130 billion, returning us to the same spending levels we were operating under just 4 months ago. Going forward, we will cap the growth of discretionary spending by 1% annually over the next 10 years, reducing wasteful Washington spending by over $3 trillion. Mr. Speaker, put simply, this bill would require Washington to do what every American has been forced to do as a result of Biden's spending-induced inflation: tighten our belts and change our spending habits. Second, we save taxpayer dollars by reversing some of the Democrats' reckless spending, reclaiming tens of billions in unspent COVID funds, defunding the president's army of 87,000 IRS agents, repealing special interest tax breaks for the largest green energy corporations, and rescinding President Biden's unconstitutional student loan bailout. Third, this legislation will grow the economy by returning to pro-work, pro-growth, pro-energy policies that will unleash American prosperity once again. It stops the assault on U.S. energy production and restores American energy dominance. It reins in Biden's unprecedented barrage of regulations, and it breaks the cycle of poverty and government dependence for generations of Americans by restoring common sense, Clinton-era work requirements for able-bodied adults. Mr. Speaker, it's time to get America back to work. Turn this economy loose and let the tide of prosperity lift all boats. We have put forward a plan worthy of the people we serve, and now we must put aside political small-mindedness and rise to meet the enormous challenge facing our great nation. If we fail to meet this moment, we risk being the first generation in history to leave our children a weaker America, with fewer opportunities and a lower standard of living. Let me be clear. We will pay our creditors. We will protect the good faith and credit of the United States, but we will not give this president or any politician a blank check to bankrupt our country. Mr. Speaker, this is where the reckless spending stops. This is where we speak up for our children. This is where we fight together to save our country. I urge all of my colleagues to support H.R. 2811, and I reserve the balance of my time.